Can you start by sharing with us some of your varied experiences that leads you up to teaching at School of the Blues?
Oh gosh, a lot of my experience is from, well, I kind of look at there's two aspects to my level of experience, and that involves uh, formal education and what I call just learning off the street, which I think are both invaluable in being able to give information to other people. So, of course, as far as my education goes, I played in the school system all through elementary and high school and through college, which included just so many varied styles of music: jazz band, percussion ensemble, concert band, drum corps. Things that really helped me hone my chops as a player. My hands and feet, and also to train my mind and my ear to be able to understand style and the varied styles and how appropriate it is to play in those styles at the appropriate time, and to train my ear not only in a musical sense as far as ear training and like scales and notes and that kind of thing, but also to train my ear to listen in a band setting to what is is being done, and also to what's been asked of me to do. Trying to incorporate all these different elements into helping someone who's come to me to learn to understand what's important for them to to learn to do, and how to integrate that into their practicing and their rehearsing and their performing.
Mhm. For a brand new student, someone who's never played the drums before, what can they expect from you in your first months of lessons?
Uh, First of all, that it should be fun, because if it isn't fun, they're not going to want to do it. But that inside of having fun, they have to learn elements that are quite important in being able to play. And that's going to involve technique, training your hands to just move the sticks, and how to gain a touch from the instrument, to train their ear so they can hear what they're playing. It's surprising how students, as they're learning to do something, their mind tends to wander, and how to follow the exercises that they're given, how to apply that, and and like I say, fun. How to keep it interesting, because learning to play the drums, a lot of times, any kind of technique, I think, can become very boring. So learning how to make it interesting and stay engaged with it. So but obviously technique, having a sense of fun, and that's a lot of things are involved in that basic concept of fun and technique.
When you get someone who has developed enough technique to start thinking about playing with others. Now in the blues, we have a very specific language. When we go play at our monthly jam session, for example, when my students play with your students, they'll get up and call shuffles or swings or two beats or a slow blues. How do you prepare your students for that first opportunity to either participate in our student concerts or in the jam sessions? What's involved in that for the blues drummer?
How to blend, how to understand what they're being asked to do, and also how to understand that when someone's asking a drummer to do a certain thing, that the way they ask might not fully incorporate what's best for them to do. And there's, especially in an intermediate set of circumstances, it's rare that whatever gets said is fully what needs to happen. So understanding, what a band needs from a drummer is one of the primary things that I teach intermediate players in learning how to correspond what someone asks them to do with what they set themselves up to do, and then how important it is for them to continue listening because as the song progresses, because they will hear things shift and change, and they should know how to manage those shifts. You know what I mean? Because the drummer is such an integral part of the form of the music. They're responsible in many ways for the time, the feel, the groove, and leading the band from one section of song to the next, from an introduction to a verse, to a bridge, through a solo, back, through the whole form. And so that's, learning how to communicate by listening and how to communicate through their playing to give the situation what it needs to have.
In your jam track book, you show students how to, and the first method book within the School of Blues lesson series, published by Melby Publications, you go through, let's see, the method book, I think we counted 260 something variations of the different type of blues grooves. So right. Obviously in that training is to walk them through those common grooves.
Right, it is. And I think, well, a lot of the origin of these different grooves comes from the players who played them, and I guess what I mean to say is when you really start to study this music and realize the origins of blues drumming, you realize that the important players, they each had a style based on their education and their knowledge and their experience. And so they would bring whatever style they had into play with the musicians they were playing with. And well, that's how a lot of these different grooves came about. It was partly what a player had as far as their chops and their experience, and partly how they were interacting with an artist who had their own style and their own, like a Muddy Waters style, very specific, or a Little Walter style, or Junior Wells. These people have such diverse styles, and it's always up to the drummer to incorporate what they bring to the table of their own and how it melds with the music that they're playing, the style with each artist they're working with.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get a lot of different ways to do sort of like the same thing. But each way that you do it is going to have a great impact on how the music sounds overall.
So it might start with the basics of, say, what a shuffle is, identifying the backbeat and such, and then going into greater detail of this is how Fred Bilo would do this, or maybe this is how Willie Big Eye Smith would do this, or
right.
Artist studies, just like I study Little Walter or Big Walter Horton or
right.
George Harmonica Smith. You're spending time getting to know the style and not only be able to play some of their signature riffs, but to embody their approach.
Right. And also to try to interpret and analyze what you hear from the person or persons you're playing with. There can be a kind of a lazy feel from somebody, kind of like a Jimmy Reed, or there can be kind of a real tight style like T-Bone Walker, and you have to utilize by using your technique that lazy feel or that tight feel.
Can you share with us what you feel the benefit for a drummer student to be working with you and through School of the Blues?
I've known all of the instructors at the school for many, many years. And I know that they genuinely care about the people that they work with. They're caring people. The instructors work to try to communicate with people really the historical perspective and why it's important to play a given style at a given time, why it's important to gain the ability through technique and how to interact in a band setting. And fortunately, the school has fostered this same kind of feeling among the students. And so when people come out to perform, they're, at our jam sessions, for example, and through our concert series and everything, they are really having a true experience in real time with people that are caring and that help guide them into a position of each of the students. And I've seen this when they go to perform at other jam sessions around town and whatnot. They're helpful, they're courteous, they're prepared, and it's through the instructors and the program that we offer that they learn that that's really the best way to foster the most positive experience that everybody can have and share in the performance.